China, they love censorship, and not just with video games. They love censoring everything. China, you were probably manufactured in China. Probably you were from Amazon. News. Skip it up and that up. So China loves controlling their citizens with an iron fist, to the point that they even have a social credit system where the government monitors its citizens' social media accounts, and if they say anything disparaging about the government or that they consider something that shouldn't be said, they knock you down on the social credit system, which controls what kind of jobs you could get. If you could go on airplanes, if you're not a good citizen, it could ruin your life. And it could knock you down on the social ladder in China. It's insane. It's as draconian mostly as you can get. Well, you could go to North Korea. It's a tad worse there. Just a tad, but you get my point. Well, the gaming industry has a really tense relationship with China. They go through this whole process of approving games, and it's tough to get games approved there. And for the past 9 months, China just froze approving games. It devastated a lot of gaming industries that come out of China. 9 months, they were just like, no. And they just recently approved 45 games that they reviewed. They also recently limited how much time Chinese citizens under the age of 18 can game per week. And they can only game 3 hours per week, but not in a chunk. 1 hour a day on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. They could also play when there's a national holiday in China. So they don't joke around over there, and it's really ridiculous and really over the top. But even with all of these bans, people still get around them in China. For example, YouTube is officially banned in China, but people watch it and the government isn't going there and cracking down. And a lot of times live streamers in China would play games that were not approved by the government. Well, that is about to change, and it sucks for the streamers. This comes from PCGamer.com. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. In March, the Chinese government announced plans to expand its restrictions on online gaming for minors to include live streaming and social media. At the time, the government was seeking public feedback on a draft document of proposed changes, but it appears that some aspects of the crackdown are now being adopted. A Reuters report says the country's National Radio and Television Administration has banned live streams of unauthorized video games. The new regulation applies to video games that have not been approved for publication in China, according to the report, as well as streams of games and esports competitions from outside China, along with imposing limits on game content that can be streamed on Chinese platforms. It also calls on streamers to avoid traffic-oriented aesthetics and other undesirable behavior, and to interact with viewers in a civilized and healthy online environment. That's cute. They don't know the internet, do they? The new restrictions are part of China's ongoing efforts to battle perceived gaming and online addiction among minors, a point explicitly stated in the first paragraph of the new guidelines. Issues such as online live broadcast chaos and teenagers' addiction to games have attracted widespread attention in the society, and it is urgent to take effective measures to strictly regulate them. Yeah, Big Brother to the rescue. Now, the thing is that these unapproved games are big on streaming platforms in China. I'm going to have to read these here. Huya, Douyu, and Bilibili. And one of the games on there, if I'm saying the names of those streaming platforms wrong, I do apologize, was Elden Ring, even though that was not approved by the Chinese government. So they're going to start cracking down on things like that because that's what's destroying society, essentially. Now, I agree. Should you let your kids play too many video games? No, I don't. It's not healthy for them to just sit in front of a screen all day. Absolutely not. I 110% agree that that's not good. But here's a wild idea. How about you let parents do their jobs and be parents? The games have rating systems on them worldwide. There's ratings all over. How about you? This game is rated M for mature. I shouldn't let my 10-year-old play it. Or if the parent chooses to let the 10-year-old play it, that's on them. It shouldn't be on the government to go, I only want your 10-year-old to play 2 hours for the entire week, or 3 hours, an hour a day. What happens if that kid goes to soccer and does other things, does a bunch of other extracurricular activities, has a really healthy lifestyle, and just one day wants to chill out and game for a few hours because the government said they can't. It's just ridiculous. And I've actually seen articles in the past before defending China's take on this, and it's absolutely insane. The more I'm all about, look, I know I'm not going to get into politics too much here, but I know I have a more of a left-leaning standpoint. If you watch my live streams on RTU streams, link below in the description, you'll know that. But I'm also for freedom too. I don't want the government controlling my entire life. I don't want the government dictating how I have to raise my kids. And I don't think that the Chinese government should be imposing that on their citizens either. But this is how they work, man. It's censorship to the nth degree. Like I said, with the social credit system, they don't want you talking bad about the government. If you don't talk bad about it, you're getting rewarded. If you do talk bad about it, you're punished. So what do you think that's going to do? It's going to incentivize people to be like, hi, dear leader, we love you. Please let me get a better job so I could pay more bills and live more comfortably. And if you don't, you get punished and you get a crappier job or maybe no job at all. And they limit your freedoms over there. All more than they already are limited. It's as gross as you could get, man. And I don't know how anybody could look at this with a straight face and think that it's okay. I mean, there's worse things happening throughout the world, but China as a whole is pretty oppressive with its citizens. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.